Okay, just gonna get into the vehicle using 3 points of contact. Gonna put my seatbelt on. Make sure the vehicle is on neutral. Make sure the brakes are set. Pull the key out of my pocket. Now I'm gonna start the vehicle, put it on first gear. I can set my wheel chuck so we get my brake test. Always let the gauge cycle. I'm going to step out of the vehicle using 3 points of contact, so my wheel chocks. You can stay there, you can probably watch through the window. So always within your power zone right here. See what I mean? Not hyperextending. Make sure you always close the door. Again, always within your power zone. Always remember, seatbelt. Make sure the vehicle is on neutral. Make sure the brakes are set. Seatbelt, neutral, brakes. I'm gonna do a safe start. Gonna let my gauges cycle. I'm monitoring my ABS light. My ABS light went on and off, and it's also off on the trailer, indicating my ABS system is working properly. Now I'm gonna start my vehicle and rev it to 1200 RPM. And start the brake test with a fully charged system, and the system should be fully charged between 120 and 140 PSI. At 126 PSI. So the next test he's gonna do is my governor cut in. I'm gonna release both of my parking brakes to check my governor cut in. My governor should cut in at 100 PSI. I'm checking my primary gauge. It's not going down below. If I would like to assist with my carefully fanning the brake pedal to bring it below 100. Waiting for my governor to cut in. Okay, my governor has cut in. I know this because the pressure is increasing. Now I'm going to shake my governor cut out. I'm going to rev the engine to 1200 RPMs, and my governor should cut out between 120 and 140 PSI. governor is working, cutout is working properly. He cut out at 126 psi. Now the next test is going to be my 3 psi air loss test. I'm going to turn the vehicle off. I'm going to put the vehicle in the on position. I'm going to let the gauge cycle. I'm going to release both of my parking brakes. And after the initial air loss between 5 and 15 psi, I shouldn't lose more than 3 psi within 1 minute. So as you can see right now, my gauge is exactly at 125 psi. Releasing my brakes. So now my needle has settled. Now I'm waiting. So my needle has settled at 109 psi. So that is a loss of 16 psi. Do I have permission to continue? Because it was more than 15 psi, so you have to have permission. So at this moment, the trooper say, okay, yeah, go ahead. Or he can fail the truck and the test would be terminated. So at this point, let's say if he say, yeah, go ahead, 16 psi. So, okay, starting my 3 psi air loss test from 109 psi now. Let's say the minute is up, I'm still at 109 psi, that's 0 air loss. The next test is gonna be my 4 psi air loss test. And I'm gonna do that by applying at least 90 pounds of pressure to my service brakes. And after the initial air loss between 5 and 15 psi, I shouldn't lose more than 4 psi in 1 minute. I'm looking at my gauge and I'm still at 109, starting from 109 psi. So my needle has settled at 100, so I'm gonna give it a second. So my needle has settled at 100, that is a loss of 9 psi. Starting my 4 psi air loss test from 100 psi now. Okay, let's say the minute is up, I'm still at 100 psi, that's an air loss of 0 psi. Now you release the brakes. The next test is gonna be my low warning light and buzzer. I'm gonna carefully fend the brakes, and that will be the service brakes. And my low warning light and buzzer should activate before or at 55 psi. My low warning light and buzzer are working properly. The activator at 66 psi. The next test is going to be my emergency spring brakes. I'm going to rapidly fend the brakes to simulate a rapid air loss, and they should automatically apply between 20 and 45 psi. Emergency spring brakes are working properly. They automatically apply. Looking at the gauge at 36 psi. The next test is going to be my compression recovery rate test. I'm going to start the engine and rev it to 1200 RPM until I reach 85 psi. At 85, I will let the engine idle and it should reach 100 within 45 seconds. from 85 psi. Time, say it took 40 seconds. Now I'm going to continue to fully charge the system to begin my 4-point brake test. System is now fully charged. Now I'm going to place the vehicle in first gear. Make sure my brakes are set. I'm going to exit the vehicle using 3 points of contact to remove my wheel chocks. Again, always when my power's on, using 3 points of contact. Seat belt, neutral, sure the brakes are set. Always let the gauges cycle. I'm going to begin my 4-point brake test, starting with my trailer parking brakes. So I'm going to put it on first gear. I'm going to release my tractor and tug against my trailer. My trailer parking brakes are working properly. I know this because we did not move. Also, my coupling is secure. Now I'm going to check my tractor parking brakes. Set my tractor, release my trailer, and again give it a little tug. My tractor parking brakes are working properly. I know this because we did not move. Set the brakes, put it on neutral. I'm going to fully charge the system to continue the brake test. We'll continue my brake test by next checking my trailer service brake by driving up to 5 miles an hour. My trailer service brakes are working properly. I know this because we came to a stop. The next test is going to be my service brakes. Again, I'm going to drive up to 5 miles an hour while lightly holding the wheel. My service brakes are working also. The wheel did not move left and right, indicating my brakes are properly adjusted. At this time, I'm going to go ahead and put the vehicle, either leave it in first gear and turn it off and set the brakes and all that. But in the real test, the trooper is going to most likely tell you to back up to the starting position. So at this point, you're going to put on neutral, and as you set your brakes, you're going to release your service brake, so you don't compound the brakes. You're going to do it like this. Okay. And this concludes the brake test.